My friends, these days YouTube is making it harder and harder for fans to watch independent channels like mine. Even people who are channel members have to go hunting for my content because YouTube does not help them find it. This latest shift in the algorithm, incorporating age verification and reportedly using AI to filter results, has instantly cut my views down a half to a third of what they used to be. Meanwhile, I'm getting a lot of folks telling me in comments they've been unsubscribed from my channel without their knowledge. The good news is, I may have a fix for those of you who want to ensure you get notifications from YouTube. If you want the algorithm to know you like this channel and want to receive notifications, please watch a number of my videos all in a row. Watch 4 or 5 of them back to back, and I am told this will adjust the algorithm so you'll get updates when I post videos or go live. To make it easier for you to watch several of my videos in a row, you'll find a couple of links to playlists in the video comments. Please take a look at them, and with a little luck, this will help you find my videos a lot easier and help us stay on the air. Thanks for watching, my friends, and now, on to the video. My friends, all of you know by now I was a huge fan of Peacemaker Season 1. I thought it was a blast of fresh air and unconstrained exuberance that was the best thing on TV the year it came out. Kind of the same way I felt about Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, some felt that Peacemaker Season 1 was woke, but I disagreed. I felt like James Gunn let everyone have it with both satirical barrels, giving shit to all sides in a very refreshing way, and the whole thing was so damn much fun, it made you overlook any flaws there might have been in the story. So when I say that the first episode of Peacemaker Season 2 is a roller coaster ride, I mean it literally. There are highs in the show, but there are also some lows, and that wasn't really true in the first season. I'm a bit disappointed, to be honest, but I also look back at some things that made me laugh, and overall, I must confess, I came away from the season premiere with something of a sense of melancholy. In this review, I'll try to explain why I felt that way, why I felt so conflicted and schizophrenic about this, what I liked about this episode, and what either disappointed me, made me roll my eyes, or otherwise just say, what the hell. This will be a spoiler-free review up until I flash the big red spoiler sign towards the end, so it's safe to watch for everyone up until that point. You will be warned before any spoilers get out. So without further ado, let's get started. This season of Peacemaker opens up with a retcon of Season 1 to bring it into alignment with changes in the power structure of the DCU. Instead of the Justice League showing up at the end of Season 1, Gunn retcons it so that it's the Justice Gang, and I feel like it was a self-goal doing this retcon because all it did is anger the Snyder fans who are already doing everything they could to sabotage Gunn's take on DC, and who needs that shit? Honestly, I understand both sides of the argument, and there's no real reason why Gunn needed to erase the Snyder characters from that little segment at the end of Season 1. I did a whole member video about this issue, check it out, channel members, so I won't get too much into it here, but watching the Season 2 premiere, this was completely unnecessary in my opinion. Nothing would have had to be changed, just leaving the scene alone as it was. It was needlessly antagonistic and doesn't help bring the fandoms together. That said, the beginning of Season 2 is a bit of a downer because it finds everyone who saved the world in Season 1 pretty miserable. Emilia Harcourt and Peacemaker are both looking for work and getting disappointed. The various characters from Season 1 aren't really interacting with each other. They're all kind of on their own trajectories, and so, thus far, Season 2 isn't nearly as funny as Season 1 was. You don't have that character dynamic generating the humor. Now, I added so far because I'm sure Gunn is going to kick this thing into high gear soon, but this opening episode feels like a transition, almost like a prologue, or even worse, one big epilogue to Season 1. Yes, there is one major incident that gets Season 2 kicked off, but I'll save that for the spoiler section.
Well, how was the opening title sequence? Did they have a new dance? Was it cool?
Yeah, there's a new song and a new dance sequence, but unfortunately, it just can't compare to the first season's opening. I suspect it's simply that whatever song they're using this time isn't nearly as memorable as Do You Really Want to Taste It from Wigwam in Season 1. The song may grow on me, but honestly, Do You Really Want to Taste It was an instant hit right from the start, so I doubt that this song will somehow miraculously catch up. Look, I don't want to be negative here. There are a lot of laughs when I think back to this Season 2 opener. When I think about them, I smile and go, oh yeah, that part was good, and that part was good, but I can't lie. I came away from this episode having to think back about the good parts, to force myself to remember them, because my overall reaction after this episode was one of melancholy, frankly. Not depression, and I'm not saying I didn't like the episode, but yeah, melancholy. So far, this is not the feel-good fun of Peacemaker Season 1. Okay, so now let's get to the spoilers. Turn back, all ye travelers who wish to remain totally pure, for beyond this point, here there be spoilers. So at the start of this, Amelia Harcourt is trying to get work with some security agency or other, and she's told by a psychiatrist or therapist she exhibits toxic masculinity, which made me laugh because it's very true. If you remember, she beats up a guy or two in a bar who get out of hand in Season 1, and while that scene was a bit questionable, these were just meatheads who she caught by surprise, so I let it ride. But this season, it gets both worse and better. After being told she has toxic masculinity, she then deliberately goes into a bar, acts obnoxious as hell, beats up a whole bunch of guys in a really ridiculous, over-the-top girl power way that exemplifies everything we've been shitting on in movies in the past 10 years. This tiny slip of a girl, completely savaging big burly biker guys left and right. I really hated this scene. Made me roll my eyes. But then Gunn pulls the rug out from under us, and those guys beat the shit out of Harcourt and throw her ass out of the bar. And she lies there bleeding on the sidewalk and smiles. So, is Gunn paying tribute to the girl power bullshit, or is he deflating it, showing the girl getting her aggressive ass handed to her? Hell if I know. But it does make you think, and is one of Gunn's strengths, oddly enough. He's really tough to pin down, and he sticks it to both sides, and I admire a filmmaker who takes chances like that, dances on the edge of acceptability, and kind of doesn't give a shit who he pisses off. It can be exasperating, but also it's kind of refreshing. Still, all that said, at the end of the day, I did not like the scene, and it made me like Harcourt significantly less. And oddly enough, despite all the goodwill I built up in Superman towards the Justice Gang, Gunn also made me like the Justice Gang less in this episode. I mean, I understand Gunn likes to write asshole-ish characters. They are funnier, after all. But in this one, they're interviewing candidates to join the Justice Gang, and they treat Peacemaker like shit in the interview. It might have been funnier if only, like I said, there wasn't this melancholia hanging over the whole episode to begin with. Even though overall I didn't like this scene and it made me like the Justice Gang less than I did in Superman, nevertheless, I must admit there were a few good laughs in the scene.
Like the comment about the Playboy Bunny superhero chick who ran out of the interview crying. When we find out why she was crying, yeah, I laughed.
Yeah, me too, but geez. Then later, Peacemaker gets messed up on high-powered drugs and suddenly there's a huge explicit orgy going on in his dad's house, so thumbs up for hard-ass nudity and gratuitousness. I love grindhouse shit, so rock on, James Gunn. But now we come to really the only actual plot development of the Season 2 opener. Messed up Peacemaker opens up his dad's dimensional closet and eagerly flies through the door, leading him into a door that opens up into a different quantum reality where Peacemaker never killed his brother. Peacemaker's dad is actually a nice, warm guy who loves him, and they all live together in a beautiful mansion with all sorts of trophies and newspaper clippings framed on the walls celebrating them. This is the happy family that Peacemaker has always wanted and never knew. But alas, opening up this dimensional closet is also causing another dimensional disturbance to show up on government radar. Similar to what Luthor opened up in Superman, so there's that moving forward. And when Peacemaker makes a melancholy second trip back through that door, spends a little time with his alternate family, he encounters a different version of himself on the way out, and havoc ensues. I will not spoil what happens there. It's too big a point, but I'm just saying, significantly, something happens at the end of the second season premiere episode. We'll be talking about this on Pop Culture Breakdown this Wednesday at 7 Central, 5 Pacific, with spoilers at that point. But right now, I will offer this speculation that may hint at what's coming in Season 2, and I hope I'm wrong about this. At one point, Peacemaker's alternate universe dad is having a happy drink with him and his brother, and it's mentioned how they killed the rainbow creature on one of their adventures, which makes me wonder, is this version of Peacemaker's dad happy because he lives in a horrible Yahtzee evil universe where all the groups his counterpart hated in our universe are the villains hunted down and brutally suppressed? Fuck, I sure hope not. Because if Gunn ventures into culture war bullshit in Peacemaker Season 2, that's one of the few things that could really kill this show, and with it, the whole new revamped DCU. I really hope that's not the case, folks. But, to quote a certain smuggler and rogue I know, I have a bad feeling about this. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry. Ha 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 ha.